Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily news television show broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
We are proud to announce that YouTube has recognized Queer News Tonight, certified by analytics company vidIQ as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 10 million views.
We are proud that we have more than 1,000 new subscribers in the last month, and that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ plus brand in Florida.
Over 500,000 of you have watched this show in the last 90 days. We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the LGBT community. There's no other program like this in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Monday, January 13th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ plus evening news show.
Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ plus community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our community.
We are part of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media company in America, Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network. In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience. Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 10,000 LGBTQ television stories. We produced the 25th anniversary of Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th. Our magazine's events, television news, talk and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ community and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 anchors will host this show to support the LGBTQ plus community. Let's meet today's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Alex Morash. Alex has served as editor-in-chief of Options Magazine, media director of the National LGBTQ Task Force, and press secretary for the Florida Democratic Party. Alex, so the premiere of season 2 of the Bobby Blair Show is coming up January 23rd. Tell me what's happening.
You know, it's amazing to see this happen for Bobby Blair. You know, he had a great column out South Florida News, and now he's combining it with Hotspots to do this wonderful show. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, right? And he's actually doing it with one of our favorite people, Miss Kitty Meow, right?
Nice.
So you never know what's going to come out of Kitty Meow's voice. And you never know how painted her face is going to be or what outlandish outfit she's going to have on. So between that and Bobby Blair's just experience and what he's been through, I mean, he was like a tennis pro and he's got all these great stories.
Right.
So I can't wait to find out what they come up with for the Bobby Blair season 2 show. We will
Looking
see.
forward to it.
Queer News Tonight looks forward to us joining you at the premiere of the Bobby Blair Show on January 23rd. Next up, let's welcome my friend anchor Edward Otto Zielke. He has a successful career in financial marketing and serves as the director of marketing and sponsorship for the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. Edward, your next show is coming up and I'm so excited. So Unbroken Voices, Songs for Justice and Redemption by the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida is scheduled on Thursday, February 27th at Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts. Tell me what's happening.
Yeah, so this is our February concert, Unbroken Voices. The evening's going to feature a bunch of different types of songs. There's going to be a piece called The 7 Last Words of the Unarmed. It's a gripping composition. It pays tribute to lives that were lost to gun violence and injustice, so it's a little bit of a heavy piece, but it's a very emotional piece, and we're hoping that that it will translate into something something that we can talk about in a structured environment. But also this evening's going to have some uplifting sing ballads and some songs of hope. So it's more or less kind of like a call to action against hate and a celebration for love and community, just in time for Black History Month, and, you know, promoting social justice through it too.
I love that. Those hard conversations that we need to have, right? And you can bring that out through song. Song is so freaking powerful.
It really is. And this piece really, the piece that the chorus is doing speaks in 7 movements. And if you dive deep into it, it's based off of the 7 people that were gunned down in violence, like Michael Brown, Oscar Grant, Kenneth Chamberlain, Trayvon Martin, Eric Gardner, Amadou Diallo, and John Crawford. These men were gunned down, and what they've done, they've taken their last words and put them to music. Wow. And so it's a very, it's an emotional piece, powerful. And it's something that, you know, I think that the community would definitely want to hear.
Thank you.
It's a way to bring the community together.
Yes,
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Much needed. Say their names. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at Unbroken Voices, Songs for Justice and Redemption on February 27th. Let's welcome my favorite bear alive. We call him Will Haas. Will is a bi-coastal real estate professional and is the past president of South Florida's most popular gay social club, the Bears of South Florida. They are always winning awards, too, for being an incredible social group. So, Will, one of our favorite places, Leatherworks, is hosting a discount shopping night. You heard me right. A discount shopping night for the Bears of South Florida on January 21st. Complimentary snacks will be provided, and it is a clothing optional event. Tell me what's happening.
You got that right. We're having a clothing optional shopping night at Leatherworks for bears and our admirers. Gentlemen, break out your harnesses, your leather jock straps. We're going to have fun. They're providing snacks, discounts on merchandise, and beer for the bears. And you know what? Valentine's Day is coming up, so you need gifts for your boyfriend, your partner, your partner's boyfriend, or the guy you met on Scruff last night. This is the perfect shopping experience. Come to Leatherworks on January 21st from 5 to 8.
I love it. Listen, you know how many people are going to be there? It's going to be packed. So get there early so you can get some really good discounted leatherware, because people look forward to this event. All right. Mr. Alex was talking about it too, that he needs to get a new harness, and you know, those harnesses can be pricey.
Yeah. Right. And I like shopping in a comfortable outfit or lack thereof.
And you have to worry about a clothing room, a changing room, because you're going to be naked shopping.
Right? Yeah. I love that. All right. So Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at Leatherworks shopping night for the Bears of South Florida on January 21st.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots magazine, Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye, the world's first Pride celebration will be at My Hollywood Pride on January 26th at the Arts Park at Young Circle. Tell me what's happening, Faye.
I am so happy to tell you what's happening, Alex. So My Hollywood Pride will once again say welcome home while boasting that Pride starts here for the 2025 edition. My Hollywood Pride is thrilled to announce their 4th annual festival being held at the historic Arts Park at Young Circle as the lead event for the Hollywood celebration. Keep it 100. Mark your calendars for Sunday, January 26, 2025 from 1 to 7 p.m. as we kick off a spectacular celebration that not only honors our LGBTQ plus community, but also marks the city of Hollywood's 100th anniversary. WSBN's Craig Stevens, Hottie, and myself will be hosting the main stage. DJ Boomy is on the music, and it's going to be an incredible day. Pride starts here at My Hollywood Pride, January 26th, and you boys all said that you've got to go this year.
You go wear your harness. You bought it at Leatherworks.
You can wear your harness, of course. You bought it on the 21st. You can go there with it on the 26th, you know? And I just love that this is the first Pride of the season. So nationally, everywhere, Pride starts right here in our backyard. How cool is that?
Exactly.
And how, I think it's more important now than ever. You know, people constantly say like, oh, how many Prides do you need? Right? Why does everybody need a Pride? I think we need all the Prides possible, especially with you-know-who taking office on the 20th.
We always need a reason to celebrate. You know, I mean, it doesn't even matter what you're celebrating. You know, just go out there and have a good time. So that's really what it's about.
Yeah, completely.
Exactly. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at My Hollywood Pride at Arts Park at Young Circle on January 26th.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Racism and transphobia issues from LGBTQ in Wilton Manors causes community leaders to meet. Is Wilton Manors an inclusive city for LGBTQ people by LGBTQ people? Some are suggesting perhaps not. On December 17th, an altercation occurred with Legacy Builders leader LaTanya Hobson. On social media, she described an exchange where the N-word was used against her at a business at the Wilton shops. There was an extensive response discussing if Wilton Manors is a community that is only for white gay men. Thursday, a community leadership meeting was held to discuss racism and homophobia inside the LGBTQ community of Wilton Manors. Leaders from nearly 20 diversity queer organizations and social justice advocates met at Ujima Conference Room to discuss the problem and potential actions. Al Ferguson, executive producer here for Hotspots Happening Out, attended and is largely reporting this story. Hobson went into great detail of the December 17th event, and others discussed the frequency of racism and transphobic events that some white gay members of our community exhibit. Trans Inclusive Group's executive director, Tatiana Williams, said, quote, "Wilton Manors is performing exactly as it was intended to," end quote, referring to the community structure built for white gay people. The often tense exchange told stories like why the Black and trans community fear for their safety in Wilton Manors and how other, even straight neighborhoods are more welcoming. Many discussed that they believe the community nature itself empowers individuals to be able to express racist and transphobic attitudes and actions. One participant said, quote, "I wonder if they know in the Black community we call it white manners," end quote. Another said, quote, "Wilton Manors is not a community of color," end quote. While still another community leader said, quote, "I don't feel community in the LGBTQ community. It is not what is being represented," end quote. Political activist Michael Albetta discussed the Wilton Manors HRC rating. He explained that despite a 100% score in a sub-area, that city received a C evaluation in relation to community and government commitments. The meeting participants discussed options including a town hall, a community march, to even call for a boycott over awareness. The meeting drew attention to the contradiction of marginalization of LGBTQ people and at the same time LGBTQ willing to marginalize members in their own queer community. At the meeting, Vice Mayor Chris Caputo expressed his sadness in the incident and the perception of discrimination in Wilton Manors. He is hosting a meeting tomorrow, Tuesday, to discuss specific issues to address. They included how the city can be supportive, WNBA business alternatives, and more. Queer News Tonight will continue to follow this story closely. Let's begin by saying that racism and transphobia is not okay. Okay, it's not okay at all. And many people flee to Wilton Manors for a place of safety, for a place that they know that they can be seen, heard, and be safe, you know? So it truly saddened me to see that this happened to LaTanya, right? It is not a one-time thing. This has happened. I have other friends that, you know, that are Black that have had similar situations like this happen to them in Wilton Manors, you know? You know, it's got to stop. This is not the first that this conversation has come up. Hotspots Happening Out has hosted a town hall in the past. You know, there has been certain things that have come up that we've tried, that people have tried to get this conversation going. I don't know if it's fallen flat. I don't know what's come out of this, but I know that it's a huge problem and something needs to happen. People need to react. People need to do something. You know, there's going to be a meeting tomorrow and hopefully something will come up from that. William, you were telling me something that the Bears were doing.
Yeah, so the Bears of South Florida, at one of our board retreats, we talked about how we can make our group more diversified and also welcome the trans men to our pool parties. And so we as a group promote everybody's welcome. We welcome all our new members, whoever's a new member to our group, and that really increased our diversity. We also talked about having a trans man come to a pool party so that we're prepared and make sure they're welcome. And unbeknownst to us, a trans man had come in the interim to a pool party and sent us a great letter saying how warm and welcome he felt. And that for us is just our community itself trying to work on it within our own group.
Yeah.
So if we could spread that to all the other communities and different organizations, maybe we need to have a diversity training for all the nonprofits so all the leaders know how to approach and make sure everybody feels warm and welcomed. Because this should be a safe harbor for us in our community, because everybody else attacks us in our group. We should be protecting each other within our group. We should be like a mother hen, Wilton Manors.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, it breaks my heart to hear. Let's first state that everybody at this table, none of us can say that we've lived the experience of being Black or being called the N-word or going through this kind of racism. I am a Puerto Rican Colombian girl, and my marginalization is brown, and we deal with our own stuff. You know what I mean? But I can't say that I know what that experience is like, right? It saddens me to hear someone say Wilton Manors is for and made for white gay men. You know, as 3 gay white men, what do you say to that?
Well, first of all, I think that we should apologize on behalf of everybody else in our community that is warm and welcoming. We're sorry this happened to you, or if this happened to anybody else. We apologize. This should not happen, but we need to make this a better place for everybody.
But it's also our responsibility to really look into different organizations that we're involved in and make sure that we are diversifying our teams. I know as Speak at the Gay Men's Chorus, that's something that's been very important to us, not just within the board, but the leadership teams as well. We have a vice president that works specifically with the members of Equity, Access, and Belonging. So that's helped to diversify our membership as well, and that also diversifies our audiences too. So it's something that's important to us, and I've been seeing a lot of board changeover with that as well. Bringing in different, not just people of color, but also of genders too. So and that's what has to start to trickle, I think, into a lot of how people may want to run a city and stuff. And you have to look at what's being represented, and if there is a group that feels like that they're being mistreated, they do need to be heard, and this is the type of platform that they need to express that. We do have a lot of work to do. It's not to say that we've ever rested on our laurels.
Yeah.
We do know that it's out there.
Yeah.
And as somebody that it wants to be supportive of all communities, I have to start by educating myself and speaking out on myself and what is most uncomfortable to me, and ask the tough questions, you know.
And have the tough conversations. Alex, I'm going to go to you in a second. I want to read LaTanya's quote because I reached out to LaTanya because I wanted to get her viewpoint. She has been a guest on our shows. She has been an incredible advocate. She's a consultant on a lot of things. Legacy Builders is one of the most influential community leadership program that is just doing big things. And when I saw her posting about her being called the N-word right there on Wilton Manors, I was freaking blown away. And then my second thought was I got mad. And then I thought, how long has community been feeling like this, and how come nothing has been done, right? So her quote was, reflecting on the history of racism and segregation in Florida, there are important truths that need to be acknowledged. Florida has the most recorded lynchings in America. That is why it's just as important to support museums, libraries, cultural diversity programs, and activations like Legacy Juneteenth Productions. It's essential to recognize the legacy of pain and trauma that continues to affect communities today because it is disguised in our community so well. I'm working on no-hate initiatives with Vice Mayor Chris Caputo, Chief of Police Blocker, along with FBI Civil Rights Hate Crimes Task Force for the City of Wilton Manors, and concrete plans for South Florida with community leaders such as Tatiana Braxton, Lorenzo Robertson, Amy Bloom, Morgan Mayfair, and many, many more. She's mad, and she has all the right reason to be mad. These are our brothers and sisters and theys and thems that are feeling this way, that are not feeling seen and heard. They spend their money too in Wilton Manor.
Oh, yeah.
Well, as a Wilton Manors resident, I do worry about people not being seen and heard. I actually live in one of the more lower income areas as a working class person. And, few people realize that 1 out of every 3 Wilton Manors residents is non-white. People don't realize that. I'm not saying it's a very large non-white community, but the idea that there are no white people, I worry, is erasing the non-white community in Wilton Manors. At Wilton House, we're a very racially diverse community, but literally right in front of our building is a black bar, Chocolate City. People should try it sometime. The charter school across the street from us is a very large non-white population of students. You go to the elementary school here, very large non-white population, and I fear so much when hearing this talk, are we not seeing the actual non-white residents in Wilton Manors, And, if we want to be more supportive, remember that, there's a lot of issues of being able to afford to live in Wilton Manors. I'm not surprised we're seeing more of this happen as income inequality happens. And I want to know, what these activists who are talking about many different things, are you also making sure that housing is affordable for people in this area? The vice mayor talks a lot about economic development on Andrews Ave. There's a lot of non-white people that live on Andrews Ave with me. Are you going to be pushing us out? What does that mean? There's many different parts of this whole conversation, and I can only imagine what the next 6 months to a year is going to look like with this.
Yeah, and you touched on an important part, Alex, right? When I think of what happened to LaTanya, when I think of what's happened to my friends, it's usually on the drive, right? Wilton Manors is bigger than just the drive, right? Wilton Manors is pretty big. It's a pretty big city. And like you said, there are non-white people there that are also, but it's on the drive, you don't expect for that to happen. That's our safe space, And according to what Al wrote in the story, it's LGBTQ community people also not
Yeah.
being inclusive and not seeing our Black brothers and sisters and theys and them.
And I think that's really important to emphasize because, you know, you get a lot of tourists here too, and you don't know exactly the walks of life that they come from. So, you know, when you're seeing things like happening in our community, you need to speak up. It doesn't matter what's happening, you know, because we have to protect ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people come here and there's a lot of people, as we know, that, you know, think very differently from us, you know, politically. And so, you know, and they also want to come here and have a good time too. So you have to be careful and you have to be mindful and just make sure that you speak up when you're seeing something.
Yeah, and I commend both of you for doing what you're doing with your organizations because, again, you know, one person doesn't feel like, oh, we're just an organization. We're just one organization, right? But it begins with one organization, right? And it begins with William telling Edward how they do things and Edward telling Alex how they do things. And, you know, you moving it forward and move that needle to the point where we don't have our beautiful community people not feeling this way. You know what I mean? I had never heard Wilton, what was it? Wilton White?
White Manors.
White Manors. I had never heard that
never heard
before.
that.
You know, and I guess I get it. You know, I wouldn't have heard it, but like I see it, you know, and it's not untrue.
It also takes shows like this that brings it out to the general public and into our community to say, hey, we need to step up our own game. So, you know, thanks to this show, we're actually, you know, we're
It's
helping.
one of our pillars, William.
Yeah.
It has to be one of our pillars, right? And again, we go back to the things that we've learned many years ago. See something, say something, right? You're with somebody and you see some shit that doesn't seem right to you. You know, you've got that this ain't right. You know what I mean? And I don't need to explain to you, if someone's screaming the N-word at somebody, that is definitely the hell not right, you know? You know, I was filming something outside of No Manners a couple months back, and there was a person that walked by that thought I was trans, right? And threw something over. It's like, we don't want you trans people in here. And, you know, and for a moment, I felt what a trans person might feel in that situation. And I was so saddened. And I was so like, I wanted to get into the fetal position. And I automatically thought about my trans brothers and sisters and what they've got to go through in our safe community.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know if it's CCTV. I don't know if it's more, but we need to do more. I don't want my Black trans friends to not feel safe in Wilton Manors. They should feel as safe as the four of us do.
Correct.
Correct. So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. So make sure to support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now, let's dive deep into this LGBTQ story for today. I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up gay culture. Matt Rogers talks about falling downstairs at Miami New Year's Eve as Seth Meyers asks, "What's a gay circuit party?" Matt Rogers brought big laughs to Late Night with Seth Meyers as he recounted his chaotic Miami New Year's Eve, complete with a dramatic tumbling down the stairs at a gay circuit party. When Meyers asked, "What's a gay circuit party?" Rogers grinned, "Imagine 1,000 shirtless gay men." Meyers quipped, "Done." Rogers admitted, "It's not really my scene, but I had a couple drinks and it became my scene." Sure, dear. Unfortunately, Wet Stairs turned it into a comedy of errors, on which Meyers joked that partygoers must have probably thought this might not be his scene. You know, I've enjoyed Matt Rogers and Seth Meyers, both of them, and Matt is a wonderful talent and comedian. Personally, my favorite thing that he's ever been in was Twink on Q-Force. I know he's also done
favorite?
That is my favorite. He also has a great social media presence. This is a great story. I don't believe him that he has no idea what to do at like a circuit party. I'm like, oh girl, you have a good time, and they do way more than take their shirts off, but
right?
That's another story, right?
Right? What was it? He was on Fire Island. I think I saw like one episode of that. I couldn't sit through that. Sorry, dude. But no, this is a funny story. And the thing is that like we're so, you know, we've all been at a circuit party. Somebody falls, we don't even take a moment. We're like, yeah, dancing around them, twerking, hitting their butts. Like it's not even a thing. You can fall at a circuit party and like no one cares.
Well, you got to think too, this is free publicity for him. So if he didn't fall, no one even knows he's at the party. We wouldn't even be talking about the story. So, you know, easy way to get attention.
Easy way.
And he's a comedian, so you got to fall, you know.
Yeah.
He recovers what's important.
And did you even believe that Seth didn't know what a circuit party, please? Oh, please. Oh, please. Oh, please, Seth.
The instant imagining 1,000 guys shirtless, for him, I'm like, well, hello, Seth. What are you doing?
Right? Right. So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm Edward Otto Zielke, and let's queer up the USA view. Blame for LA wildfires include, quote, all the gay people, and LA out fire chief. A Fox 11 reporter is going viral for cutting off a man's anti-gay remark. The incident occurred during live coverage of the LA wildfires, which have killed about 25 people. The journalist was interviewing a passerby who asked why fires were happening right now. The reporter replied, "There are multiple fires happening." When she mentioned the wind and dryness as contributing factors, the passerby interrupted, saying, "All the gay people in LA." The reporter immediately stopped this bigotry by quickly turning back to the studio anchor saying, quote, okay, unacceptable. Bigotry often resurfaces during disasters, with some blaming LGBTQ plus people for divine punishment. For example, Pastor John Hagee blamed Hurricane Katrina on planned Pride Parade in 2005. Similarly, televangelist Pat Robertson blamed gay people for the COVID-19 pandemic. Recently, Megyn Kelly falsely claimed that LA's fire chief is unqualified to handle the crisis because she's gay. And that's so sad to use your platform to spread misinformation like that. I mean, they're going through so much right now, but, they're really grasping at straws. And then you get to see people's character when, when people are fearful of something, sometimes what comes out of their mouth right away kind of shows who they really are inside. Mm-hmm. And you have to be very careful of how you're saying. If you're afraid or you're saying things like that, that speaks volumes. And I saw that video of that passerby, and it was just kind of like, it was just thrown out of left field, like you were just ordering something to eat.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a mindset. And it's like, that's the fear that people sometimes have about our community. They're willing to blame us and put us into many different conspiracies because, we're LGBTQ plus people.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, we cause tsunamis. We cause COVID.
I mean, I didn't realize we were that.
Like, I didn't know we were so powerful.
Where's my
we were so powerful. Donald Trump would not be taken off.
Right.
It's like we have superpowers. It's crazy. And what the sad part is that all these people are losing their houses, their businesses, and that's what he should have focused on. He had an opportunity to talk about that. Instead, he went the opposite way.
Yeah.
But the thing that's most scary with some of this stuff is there is a very coordinated right-wing assault on truth related to these fires. I was watching Angelo Cazzone, the president of Media Matters, my old boss, to be honest, was on MSNBC yesterday talking about all the right-wing lies and misinformation leading up to what's going on with these fires. And it's about trying to take power. Trump's trying to do something with this. His people are trying to do something with this. And, it is a tragedy, though it's also a bigger tragedy, not just for those residents. LA and California were already having a homeless crisis before this. And, I do hope that California starts changing its ways on homelessness. People don't understand that in LA, the sanitation department normally give you 10 minutes notice before they take all your stuff. And California criminalized homeless. And I really hope with their homeless population being tragically ballooning because of this, they start stepping back and saying, let's actually try to help all these unhoused people, whether they lost their home from fire or for other means. That is my real hope with all of this.
Well, at the end of the day, hate is hate. And like Edward said, it sucks that this so easily, we're an easy scapegoat, right? Oh yeah, it's the gays, that's why, So kudos to that reporter, to the Fox 11 reporter for just she could have been caught off guard and continue to talk to the guy or whatever. But she was like, no, wait a minute, this ain't right? I'm going back to the studio right now, and God knows the hell that she has seen while she's been out there,
kudos to local reporters, because they do deal with the craziest stuff.
They deal with everything because, they're just trying to get an opinion, right? And it's, but I mean, these fires are horrible, all right? Edward said that 24 people and counting, right? There's still 16 people lost that they don't know where they are. The pets that are lost and have died are heartbreaking. Hate is hate at the end of the day, and you're always going to find a dumbass to say some dumb shit like this guy just did. And I'm kudos to the reporter for just taking action, understanding that it wasn't right. We are not the reason that Runyon Canyon is up in flames, okay? The gays just don't have that kind of power. We just don't, But it saddens me that maybe some religious person or someone that doesn't know anything about our community would hear somebody like that and maybe believe it.
Well, this is kind of a story we'll talk about a little bit later. Anita Bryant got her start. Someone said something on TV, and then that was a misconception, and look where that led. So you never know where something's going to go.
You end up with a pie in your face.
Yep.
So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into the big LGBTQ story for today. I'm William Haas, and let's queer up court. The Delray Beach Pride intersection vandalizer pleads guilty and apologizes. A Clearwater teen admitted guilt for defacing Delray Beach's Pride Memorial mural during his court hearing. Judge Delilah Weiss asked Dylan Reese Brewer, 19, to explain his remorse for February's incident. When Brewer performed burnouts on the rainbow-painted intersection, flying a Trump flag, Brewer said, "Obviously, the consequences I'm gonna have to serve, that obviously sucks. I'm remorseful for putting everyone through this, my attorneys, the state, you guys, as well as the group through all this." Brewer pleaded guilty to misdemeanor criminal mischief and reckless driving. He'll pay $5,000 in restitution, serve probation, and attend anger management. However, the LGBTQ advocates, including retired Judge Rand Hooch, criticized the plea deal as a sweetheart deal. Weiss acknowledged the community's hurt, but noted Brewer's record would show for a formal conviction. Prosecutor Clossy defended the sentence as a fair and deterrent for the future acts. Despite the backlash, Brewer's case garnered support on the right-wing social media, raising $36,535 for legal expenses. The vandalism marks the second attack on the mural since its 2021 unveiling. Advocates remain concerned about the ongoing hostility towards queer spaces. They should have also made this guy go to a diversity class. And they should take that $36,000 and make murals from that money. He should not get that money for his defense.
Well, yeah. For real, I agree with you.
Did you also notice that he didn't apologize to the LGBTQ plus community?
No.
Well, it was kind of like sarcasm. It was kind of like a sarcasm.
So basically, he apologized for being caught, boys. That's
Pretty
exactly
much.
what he did, okay? He apologized. And then in that quote, obviously, the consequences I've got to pay up for, and the consequences suck. You're young and dumb, Papi, and I really hope that you learn from this, but I have a feeling that you're not going to. You know, you apologize because you got caught. That's it. And this is actually not the first time this has happened, right? Like William said, this is the first time that they're actually prosecuting and doing something about it, you know? And your stupid right-wing social media only raised $37,000 for you. And like Will said, you don't deserve to get that money.
Exactly. You know, when you see something like this, what disturbs me is it's been happening more frequently in more public ways. You know, this guy, the other ones, like, the targeting you're seeing from the far right against us is getting really disturbing. And I hope that we understand that, like, yes, this guy needs to be punished. We need to make sure the public sees that there are consequences for these actions. And hopefully, you know, it'll hopefully deter this in the future.
Yeah. And you know what gets me also is his age, right? Because again, he's 19, right? So where does this come from? Where does this hate stem from? Is it your parents that taught you this? Is it you hanging out with the wrong people? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to go and deface a floor that's so beautifully painted and you know what it signifies and what it stands for.
You know, he apologized to his attorneys. They're making money on the deal. And you guys, I'm from Jersey. I can say you guys. You're from Florida. You can't say you guys.
That belongs to us, you guys.
Yes, it does.
So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Now, let's deep dive into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. South Florida wins big in the Best of GayCities Awards. GayCities has announced the winners of the 2024 Best of GayCities Travel Awards. Let's take a look. Medellin, Colombia, where I am from, is crowned as this year's dream destination, numero uno. Iconic American cities winner is New York City, followed by San Francisco and Fort Lauderdale. Black's Beach in San Diego won Best Gay Beach, with Miami's 12th Street Beach taking the second position. Café Lafitte in Exile, New Orleans was honored as the Best Bar Nightclub of 2024. Victoria, Canada took the spotlight as this year's Best Hidden Gem. Cara Idol from Medellin won the Best Local Drag Queen, followed by Poison Waters of Portland, Oregon, and Melissa St. John of Fort Lauderdale. For festivals, Provincetown Carnival secured first place, and the Dinah, where I've met many girlfriends, in Palm Springs took the third position. Key West, Florida was named the ultimate beach vacation destination. Yes. Congratulations to all the winners for representing the LGBTQ plus travel community with pride, baby. So, I'm from Medellin. My parents were born in Medellin, and I love what Medellin has become. Like, there are so many Wilton Manors, so many Fort Lauderdale, so many South Florida people that have now gone to Medellin, bought a home, and made it their second home, right? Half the time here, half the time there, and sometimes get it ready to retire there in the future, right? So I love what Medellin has become. I was there for Pride, right? And there was 5 million people at Pride. 5 million people at Pride, and there were no barricades or nothing. The people just joined the parade and then walk off and then walk in, and it was just incredible. And to see how welcoming they are to all of us is just a beautiful thing. So I will say that, okay, that is definitely the next gay mecca, if it's not already. If you haven't been to Medellin, you gotta go. If you haven't been to Medellin and you have a friend that has, he will tell you everything, all right? The boys are beautiful, the food is even better, and I can go on and on, okay? Now, let's talk about Key West, okay? Because I was blowing up the boys' ears before we started this, because I was like, ¿Qué? Key West? Playa? Key West has a beach that's this small, okay? It is literally man-made. I think it was made by the hotel that it stands on, okay? Like, you can walk from one end to the other, right, and not lose anybody, okay? Like, seriously. And, if you walk from one end to the other, you might get sand on your towel. That is how small the beach is in Key West. So kudos to them for getting this award, but I'm a little perplexed by that.
I don't understand the whole beach thing either, but also Key West has become more of a vape shop, a cigar shop. There's less and less gay bars and everything else here, so I can't see that being a big gay destination anymore. I mean, it used to be, you know, and I used to be 20, but hey, I still look it though. Hey,
you still look it too. But like a lot of the cruise ships have now gone there to the Key West, so now it's predominantly very straight
and very commercialized.
Yeah.
As a kid that grew up on Cape Cod, I was very happy to see Carnival win. It is one of the best things in P-Town. If you've never been, everybody, you've got to go to Carnival more than once in your life. It is so fun. It is very queer, but it does allow straight people. I remember one time watching a straight couple on a parade. It was a giant rainbow penis. And they were like, as they were making out or doing something up there, I wasn't quite sure, but like, that's Carnival.
That is
people,
Carnival,
it is fun, it is wild, we have a good time in the sun, and it is gay as F, girls. Like, it is always a good time in P-Town.
I love that. But I love that South Florida got here on a couple of occasions, too.
I was just going to comment, too. I'm so happy to see that there was a lot of good representation of South Florida, because, we are one of the hottest, places to go, for travel, to be quite honest, especially for the LGBTQ plus community. So, it was great to see Fort Lauderdale and Miami, and Key West, and, I think Hollywood was there. So it's wonderful that, we're still the destination for, despite, that we're a predominantly red state, apparently.
We're still in Florida.
We're still in Florida, but you know what? We've got a good core, a good, good LGBTQ plus presence, and, we got a lot of great people here. So come to South Florida.
Right. And look at those destinations, too. So we're queer and we're everywhere.
Yeah.
We're everywhere.
We have to thank also the Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce and also Bureau of Tourism for supporting us and doing all such nice things for us.
Visit Lauderdale. All those people for just being so inclusive, okay? Them being inclusive with that, right? With all the propaganda and stuff like that tells people that we are an inclusive place, that we're welcoming, that we're fun. Right? And that's how it should be. Still weird on the Key West, but the rest of it, I am all for it. Okay, Melissa St. John, I love that you gave her that drag spot because she deserves it. She is an icon. She's been around forever and ever and ever. And again, representation matters, and South Florida is all over that. So great job, GayCities. So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story. I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up. Anita Bryant's family hid the death for a month for a good reason. Anita Bryant died on December 16th at 84. That's right, gay America. Anita Bryant is dead. The news was held for nearly a month, and for good reason. She was one of America's most prominent voices for LGBTQ hate. Her famous campaign of Miami's Save Our Children was an early hate group that implied all gay people were child molesters. She famously took a pie to the face The social justice organization Saved Aid was formed to fight this homophobia and misinformation. It ultimately transformed into one of the nation's most important LGBTQ civil rights groups organizations, SAVE. Today, led by Todd Delray, social media this week became judge and jury on Bryant. Thousands of mostly harsh comments on Anita Bryant's legacy and history. A common post theme was, for Anita Bryant, there will be no orange juice in hell. Anita Bryant is today survived by a gay granddaughter. And I just first want to start by thanking the producers for letting me talk about Anita Bryant's death. It has been a life goal for my career to announce Anita Bryant's death on television. Thank you. This has been amazing.
Wow.
There you go. We're so happy about this. Thank you, Anita, for dying so tragically.
Check that off his bucket list.
Yeah. Made Alex's day.
Exactly. One of the most fascinating things with this was the Miami Herald actually reposted a 2007 piece about her ex-husband. And he described how, the way that she caused so much homophobia created such a backlash from the gay community, how it's created such stress on their marriage, created a divorce.
Really?
And even when he had economic troubles ever since, and even when she remarried, she and her new husband had multiple bankruptcies. So congratulations, Anita, for all that. We're very good at what we do. So,
because we're that powerful. Right?
Hey, we can't light LA on fire, but we can sure go after Anita Bryant when she messes
Wow.
with
But
us.
listen, when people don't think that karma exists, right? Look at Anita Bryant. I don't think that she died very happy, okay? They had to hide her death for a month. Why hide it? Was it going to change? I mean, I don't understand, but then also having a granddaughter who was gay. I remember we had done the story here at this table that she was getting married and wasn't even inviting her grandmother because of her beliefs and because they didn't align with her life and her love. So I mean, I hate to be that person, but I kind of feel bad. Like I kind of feel
very
bad.
Sad it's sad when you put your own beliefs over your own, people that you supposedly love, especially in your family and stuff. So, I applaud, her granddaughter for taking a stand and just saying, you know what, this is me, and you either love me 100% or you don't.
Yeah.
Well, how could she invite her? Anita Bryant's website still considered, as recently as a few years ago, that she didn't say the gay lifestyle. She called it a gay death style. Like, how could you invite that person to your wedding?
No, you can't.
But you have to look at it too. Our community came together to overcome hate and fight hate. And out of this negativity and nastiness came SAVE.
Yeah.
So something good did come out of something negative. So thank you, Anita, for once again for giving us SAVE.
Yeah, no, right? Because she forced us to unite. She forced us to get together. She forced us to have an organization, a nonprofit like SAVE, and others have followed suit because of it. So in a weird way, we've got her to thank for that.
True.
But I'm not going to thank.
No.
Okay.
Nor give her orange juice.
No, that was my favorite line of the whole thing that Alex read. There ain't no orange juice in hell. That's not exactly how he said it, but that's how I heard it in my mind. Okay?
Freshly squeezed or concentrated.
Powdered orange juice for you, Anita, forever.
Tang. You're getting tang.
We encourage viewers to try their own version of saying that, right? Like, that would be a wonderful show.
Right? There's no orange juice in hell, Anita. Okay, well, that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up travel. Savor fine dining at Visit Lauderdale's exclusive collaboration dinner. Visit Lauderdale invites you to an unforgettable collaboration dinner on January 15th. The event will be hosted at Burlock Coast in the Ritz-Carlton, Fort Lauderdale. Chefs Paula Da Silva and Adrienne Grenier, along with celebrated chefs Kathleen Blake and Melissa Kelly, will host this incredible event. Experience a welcome reception, followed by 4 exquisite courses paired with Justin wines. Proceeds from the event will benefit Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital, supporting a great cause. The reception begins at 6:30 p.m. with dinner starting promptly at 7. Tickets start at $200 and promise a luxurious evening on Fort Lauderdale Beach. For further details and to secure your tickets, visit blfoodwine.com. Don't miss this incredible opportunity to support a cause and enjoy fine cuisine. that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. So those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ plus and ally community, and we want to tell the stories of our queer community.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
That's right, William Haas. You better put that hat back on.
You got it.
Thank you. I love it. Yeah. I'm your anchor, FayWhat? And on behalf of these LGBTQ reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Alex Morash, Otto Zielke, and William Haas. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. Everybody. To our LGBTQ plus world, we hope you will join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, be transformative and queer. Good night.